Hello everyone, this is Hakusho here, and when we last left off, I kind of left off on a bit of well, I would say spoiler, but more like a cliffhanger. Anyways, I just got done watching a couple episodes of the anime, and I actually took this picture straight out of the anime. Yeah, I kind of took a few out of it. I really like this picture, but I really love this one in particular. The first time watching this episode was great, but one thing you guys need to know if you guys are epileptic, you might not be able to watch a certain fight for episode 30 because I know it has a lot of flashing lights and a lot of color. So, I'm going to watch that in a minute. Anyways, so if you guys are epileptic and you do want to watch the anime, you might have to find a version of it that doesn't have so much flashing lights. That's one thing I am going to say about it, in case any of you guys who do like my What If have been watching the anime and you guys aren't that far in. Now then, I feel like I should have stated that, but I kind of forgot. Now then, back to where we left off. Deku and Bakugo are running in to go save Yukina. Now, they've already gotten past the demon's triad. Now they're fighting Toragiro, or the big guy. This guy. And his brother. And whenever they do meet him face to face, you would say that it's idiotic that he holds so much power for a child. His brother would then turn into a sword, and he would begin fighting with these two. Now, the guy who made bets before, who was going on a lot of money, I think he bet 66 trillion $20 million on the fight. That's a lot. And this guy has to double every single bet people place. But anyways. Now then. After that, he would be knocking Bakugo and Deku around quite a bit. And whenever Bakugo did get in a struggle with him with his sword, he would have gone to punch him with his left hand. As soon as Bakugo would have saw this guy cock his hand back, Bakugo would have taken 2 steps backwards. Now, as soon as he took those 2 steps, he got punched in the gut and actually sent flying through a wall. The guy, Kurogiro, actually said, I believe that's his name, don't quote me on that. He said that he's surprised. If he didn't take those 2 steps, he would have definitely died from the blow. An ordinary human would have, but quite simply, it was surprising that he even thought of doing that. Now, this is whenever he would make a scythe and actually try fighting him. And that would not go very well, because he could just defend and then play offense. Now, he's actually surprised at how strong these two are. And then Deku would actually try firing a spirit gun dead center in his face. When that wouldn't work, Baku would tell him how he could probably take the guy's head off, but it might not work. So he has another idea. He would then create the spirit javelin. And he would tell Deku that he needs to launch him. Well, he's going to jump into the air, and he needs you to I need you to launch me using your spirit gun into his gut. Because it'll be too fast for him to react. Now, after that, Deku would do so, and Deku, whenever he does fire it, the guy would go to swing, but as soon as he would have gone to, Bakugo is actually already in his gut with the sword. Now then, he would fall back and pretend to die. What do I mean by pretend? This whole time, he's just been seeing where Bakugo and Deku stand on the power scale. power scaling is not something I like doing for series because it just ruins everything. Because, oh hey, do you know that legend, that old super legend that only happens once every 1,000 years? Yeah, these humans who can use technology literally got to that. Like, got to, that's part of strength that you've been struggling to achieve your entire life in about a couple years. Less than probably 10. That's fine. Yeah. And the fact that Cell is basically biogenetic is not any better. Now then, yeah, I don't like doing power scaling. It kind of ruins the series for me. Like saying, oh hey, Goku's finally at Super Saiyan Omni Blue 25. His power level is 360 mol. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, mol is not million. Mol is followed by, I think, exactly 36 zeros. Now then, enough of that. Crap, those fell out. Enough of that. After this, they would leave with Yukina, and she would be sent back to the spirit world. Actually, no, I remember what I was trying to change about this. She wouldn't be sent back to the spirit world, she'd be put in a witness protection program. Let's say that since quirks do exist, they can play a bit more fast and loose with the spirit world rules. So Yukina is actually going to their school. And she does stay with. I don't know who she would stay with. I want to say Mina, but that would probably not work. Anyways, so she would stay with someone in the human world. And she'd be seen as a very powerful person and actually talked to a lot and told that her power is pretty amazing. Because she can essentially cry diamonds because they're so valuable. I know they're like pearls, but they're very valuable. And she can also freeze someone if she wanted to. So she's actually looked at as a powerful person. So she'd actually come out of her shell. Now, one thing I want to do for season 4 when it does come out with this series, I thought about this, and the interaction between her and Aries would probably be really like cool to watch, but yeah, I don't know when that would happen. Anyways, now then, after that, this is when let's cut to a week later, and Bakugo and Deku are talking over the phone about what happened. This is when Ramina would cut in saying that if you're gonna have your own private life, I understand that, but you need to tell me next time you go on a mission. Because she actually did worry quite a lot. Now then, this is whenever they would actually walk outside or walk by the area and actually see what looks to be a giant pillar ripped in half. Korogiru, Giru, Kor, that was Shigaraki and Korogiru mixed together. Korogiru, yeah, his whatever his name is, I'll figure it out. Would actually come drive by on a motorcycle, and he would have actually raised his visor. Why didn't he take his helmet off? It's because I want to say he's probably a very well-known villain. So taking his entire helmet off and showing his face probably would not be a good idea. Especially after there's a commotion. Now then. Oh wow. Now then. Bakugo. Deku would have called Bakugo saying that the guy's alive, and he threatened him that next year there's going to be a tournament. He doesn't know when it's going to be, but he thinks it might be sometimes after UA's sports festival. Now, that is whenever Deku and Mina would start talking about it, and she needs to train. Because she's actually been training quite a bit. Deku has actually noticed this, saying that if she needs help with it, he can actually help her train more. Because he needs to go talk to Genkai. She would ask who Genkai is, and he would do the whole explanation that He beat a demon during one of his first cases. Well, his second case, he beat a demon. Now she's teaching him how to use spirit power and training him. And the training camp she put him through for the last year was one of the reasons why he survived his case. Because he got through it, but it hurt and was agonizing. Now then, after that, Deku and Mina, they would have actually gone there to see Genkai. And this is whenever Bakugo would have actually tried getting in on the training. Genkai would actually like this, but she would have Bakugo train regularly like how Deku did. And he does not like this one bit, but he accepts it. Mina's training physically, and Genkai knows that using spirit power for her may be more challenging because of her quirk, but she would give it a try. Now, Mina, I don't know what kind of like spirit matter, like the manipulation stuff she could do. So let's just say she learns like very basic things, like how to sense paranormal stuff and energy like that, sensing stuff. Bakugo would actually improve the way he found Yukina. Let's call it like his radar ability, so he can like tag someone's energy and follow it. And Deku, he's actually training more and more intensely than any of these two. And Bakugo would see this, so he trained harder, and Mina would see this, so she would train harder. So he's actually probably about above where. Oh, actually, if I'm going to be doing. Oh, crap, I realized where I was taking this. But, anyways, I'll just change the thumbnail. I was using this picture the whole time, and I completely forgot. Anyways. Now, let's see. Hmm. Yeah, okay, that works. They'd be training, they'd be doing all that, and now it would be time for the entrance exam for UA. Now, whenever they get to UA, Bakugo and Deku, they would walk in. A lot of people would actually notice them, but their faces only look familiar. This is whenever Deku, when he's walking in with Mina, Mina would somewhat start tripping over, but she would have just landed in Deku's arms. Deku would crack a corny line like, looks like you fell for me, before putting her down, and she would actually blush by this, and actually kind of make fun of Deku for it. Now, anyways, oh god, I don't really like this recording. Okay, I'm just gonna change the thumbnail. Oh god. Anyways, let's do this for a thumbnail. It seems like a good one. Botan is actually with them, but she kind of got recommendations, and she's probably able to pose as like a rich family too, like a daughter of a rich foreigner. But anyways, after that, this is whenever the whole Ida is thinking Deku is quite a delinquent, because he would say that boy there, he knows who he is. His brother has actually ran into him before. This is whenever Deku would stand up and announce himself that he is Izuku Midoriya, and he doesn't give a rat's ass about who your brother is, because he's probably stronger and faster than your brother. Ida would shout back saying that his brother is Ingenium, and that he doubts that you could do that. Besides, Izuku Midoriya is quirkless. Then, all that would happen, Deku would score pretty high along with everyone else, because they probably would have all studied together. Why does that seem a bit rushed? Because I had an idea in my head. and it's not going the way I wanted planned. So this kind of makes more sense. Now then, the reason why it seems like that is because, well, I finally want to get started and delving into My Hero Academia. So I at least want them to get into UA first. Now then, this is whenever Deku, Bakugo, and Mina, let's say they were all in the same area and everyone's looking at these three. And Botan is actually there, but she's just flying around and invisible watching them. Mina can actually look up and see Botan, and she would ask if they can see her too. They would tell her that that's normal, not to worry about it. So this is whenever they would then begin with the entrance exam. Ida would have thought Deku was going to go talk to Ochako, but he would have walked past him without giving him any sense of the day and just tell him that he's going to go talk to Mina, the girl that he trained and helped with getting stronger. Again, she's a bit more serious in this what if, but after that, he would talk to her and she would then kind of somewhat joke with Deku on how she's going to get the highest. Bakugo would say that that's not going to happen because he's going to score the highest. And he's actually been working on quite a bunch of techniques. And he's actually been able to do the Heavenly Arrow. And what do I mean by the Heavenly Arrow? He can turn his Spirit Sword into a bow and arrow and basically shoot it. Now, this is a more advanced version of anything I've seen Kuwabara do. Because I've only ever seen him use a sword. And something else later on in the anime. But that's about it, because all he ever does is sword get longer. Now, he would actually make a bow and arrow and actually start fighting, but he also would create a bunch of scythes and do all that. And he's actually just creating a bunch of throwing weapons that he can use. Everyone's watching this, and then they're watching Deku as he's basically standing on the highest point he can find and just shooting robots over and over with his spirit gun. And Mina's burning through everything. Now, this is whenever Deku and Bakugo, they would then, because they've been through a lot of training, 2 months of Genkai's training was able to make Deku very powerful. An entire year, I want to see where this goes. So, he's probably around at the later arcs strength, so it'd be harder for him to get stronger. Anyways, okay. Now then, he would then actually score higher than All Might, but whenever the zero pointer does arrive, he would actually use his shotgun ability. And whenever people would see him standing still, looking up at the zero pointer, and then take a stance and put his arm that way and it start glowing, as soon as he would have saw Ochako, he would have actually ran in to help her. Whenever he does do this, he would throw her out of the way and start holding back the zero pointer. Then he starts releasing spirit energy and he's actually able to start throwing it backwards. Then he would release a giant shotgun blast, actually destroying the zero. Now then, after Deku does destroy the zero pointer, he would be immediately approached by All Might afterwards, and All Might would ask him if he would like to take on One For All. And One For All in this timeline is stronger because Genkai probably would have been called in to heal All Might. And this would probably have been like a last resort choice because they probably would have been on the fence about it. But All Might would have tried anything at that point because he would probably be very desperate to do hero work. So I won't say he would accept this, and he would actually have been healed. And because of that, he would actually be around the beginning of the stories of Bakugo, with always having a sense of the paranormal around him, and always getting that feeling up his spine. Now then, after that, he would have talked to Deku, tell him about One For All. Deku would say that he doesn't need a quirk because he's quirkless. Well, he doesn't want it because he's quirkless. He would then charge up his spirit energy and show All Might that this isn't his quirk. He is the spirit detective. I'm telling you this because you told me a secret yourself. But I do know the perfect person to get one for all. He would then ask if it was young Bakugo. Deku would say no. He's not the guy at all because both of them were born quirkless. So them manifesting quirks like that, especially Bakugo having two, that would not make very much sense. He thinks that Mina should be the one who has one for all. All Might would be reluctant, but he would actually approach her and talk to her. She is a very happy and cheery person. So he would think that Deku might have an idea, but she doesn't seem to be very serious. Now then, before he would go on, he would have actually gotten Mina's paperwork changed to say one for all or an enhancement quirk. Also, along with Kurama and Hiei actually going with him. Yes, I forgot to add those two, but they did get put in, but they were at different parts of the entrance exam, and they wanted to stay quiet. Now then, that should be it for this part. I will be telling you who is in Class 1A in the next part. Because if you guys remember, Kurama is technically Mineta, because he did enter Mineta's body and take his place. Now then, that immediately opens up more area for me to work around with. So he would have actually scored higher. Alright. Have a good day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video.